What is going on, you guys? So today I have another episode for you where I'm going to be reviewing one of Hamza's videos, and the title here is Why She's Not Replying. She's with Tyrone right now, LOL. Pretty funny title, so let's get into it.
Jeffrey gets another text from her. Things are going so well. He's thinking about what to say next. He's thinking. Wait, I'll double the amount of time that it took her. So it took her 7 minutes to reply to me, so I'll make it 14 minutes, and then I'll reply. He sends his reply, and it's a risky one. Are you sure, Jeffrey? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20, 1 hour, 2 hours? Jeffrey's panicking. He sends another text apologizing. No, Jeffrey. What do you think she's doing right now? Adonis sees poor Jeffrey pulling at his hair. Listen, young Jeffrey, we've all been there. If she was right for you and compatible, then you wouldn't have these problems like her not replying back to you. You shouldn't be with someone who makes you so anxious, but also you should try to figure out why you feel so anxious with most girls that you try to date as well, because that can be your own inner problems that we need to heal from. With Adonis's help, Jeffrey gets onto the path of self-improvement and long forgets the days when he was texting Jessica. I was on my self-improvement forums. If you don't know, that's the top link in the description. 100,000 guys in there talking about self-improvement. And a young guy asked a question that was so brutal that I wanted to make this entire video. And he was asking the question of, why has this girl who he was talking to and things were going well, why has she just suddenly stopped replying? And he gives the details. They met in school and things are going kind of well, but she has quite a lot of red flags. And then, the texting and things are kind of going good and he feels really awesome and stuff. And then she stops replying, and then he's starting to look on her Snapchat story or her Instagram story, and he's feeling so anxious. And I remember reading this. I literally sat there and honestly, I felt sorry for the kid. And I literally wrote a comment, a reply to him saying like, the higher status you are, the less this happens. I didn't expand on it more than that. I'm going to use this video for this in case it's that young guy is watching this. And also if you're going through this situation where there's a girl you kind of like, but then she's not really treating you that well, or she's quite distant, or she's making you feel anxious, or she's not replying. What I'm going to tell you is the brutal truth. The more of a top 1% man that you become, just like Adonis, the less that this stuff happens. When it's happening to you, you think it's because of what you said. You think it's because you texted something that you shouldn't have said. It's not. It's never about what you said. It's always about just simply who you are. The level of man that you are. It's just that simple. I'm telling you right now, when you get to a certain level, whether you believe this or not, right? I'm just telling you the truth. When you get to a certain level, this stuff doesn't really happen anymore. You don't worry about like, oh, why is she not texting back? I promise you, I cannot think of the last time I thought that phrase in my mind of like, why hasn't she texted me back? I can't even remember. It must have been years since that's been like a problem. Now, does that mean that every girl that I've been texting has always replied back? No. Of course, there's gonna be some girls that I was texting and they didn't text back, right? Of course. The higher level you become, that happens less. But also, it's kind of like your own brain rewires and you stop seeing it as a problem in the first place. Like if I send a girl a text and she doesn't reply, my brain doesn't tell me any kind of like negative story about it, like at all. I never ever think, oh yeah, it's me and what did I text with her? I usually kind of just put the blame back on her. Oh yeah, she's busy. Oh yeah, maybe we're not compatible. Maybe she's got diarrhea right now.
Ew, dude! What the fuck?
Like, it is a possibility, right? It is a possibility. Why not just fucking delude your own brain into actually backing you? Think about this. When you don't know the facts of the situation, whether she's with a different guy right now, or she's in church right now praying, thinking about you, or she's literally got explosive diarrhea, you don't know the fact of the situation. So when you don't know the fact of the situation, you may as well just delude yourself into thinking whatever is actually going to benefit you. I'm telling you.
Okay, so good place to stop. Delude yourself into becoming, actually, I'm going to rephrase that. Delude yourself to being the best version of yourself now. So if you haven't heard me say this before, you might have. Basically, write out what the best version of you that you can think of right now does. Does he have James Bond level confidence? Does he have Thor, like a Avengers physique? How does he act? How does he act in social interactions? How does he carry himself? Is he shy like this? Is he confident? How does he walk around the world? How does he dress? What kind of relationships does he have? Like his friendships, maybe he's self-employed, he doesn't need a big business, or maybe he has that too. Get all specific, because confidence comes from trusting yourself. And that comes from being the person that does those things, so you have the lifestyle. It reflects outwards. So that means you have to be that person now and not wait for him to show up in the future. So that's why, because part of this is a bit of a not really a paradox, because self-improvement is helpful. It's like a starter step for guys, because self-improvement is actually bullshit. So basically, and I know you're going, this guy's crazy right now. So I was on self-improvement forever. I get it. And it's good to be wanting to learn and grow. Now, a lot of people do self-improvement from a fear-based or lack or scarcity mindset, meaning that they're constantly anxious or avoidant, or they're chasing out of fear of things they don't have. Hey, I've got this product, so and you're lacking that, so you should buy it from me. That's what a lot of people do, basically, is fear-based selling or emotion-based things, right? So this is super important for you to realize that you are not only enough, you've been abundant your whole life, and basically society and everyone has convinced you that, you know, you need the girlfriend, you need the money, they convince you in a certain way to make most people poverty minded in all of these areas, like their health, their relationships, and their finances. So it reflects outwards, while the minority, have the full wealth. And a lot of those minority, by the way, are wealthy and unhappy, so they don't have the full wealthy mindset. They're poverty, like they have a poor mindset in terms of their relationships. And there's a lot of rich people who have, let's just call it what it is, you know, like shitty marriages, or they can't recreate that financial situation, so if they lost it all, they wouldn't be able to do it again. Or maybe their health is poor, right? There's a lot of really obese rich people. That's another one too. So I'm bringing this all around because shout out to you guys who are working and getting out of your anxious attachment style, maybe avoidant as well, because that's what this video is for, is when you're still in that position where you're like, oh, she's not texting me back. Oh, why aren't I good enough? It's not that you're not good enough. You don't see yourself that way yet. You've been convinced that you're not, but you've been that way all along. You've been abundant, way more than enough the whole time. You just have to take the dirty glasses off so you can actually see it.
Right now, every top tier man that I know has got great mind control. They think in their brain the thing that will help them. Weak men, and I don't mean this to be offensive, but guys who are closer to being Jeffrey, which most likely you are, you allow your brain to generate these negative thoughts which make you feel bad. You click on this video because you feel bad about some random girl who isn't really even that important to you.
Yeah.
She's not your girlfriend. You're not even in love with her. She's just the only girl who's giving you attention right now. And you're allowing this to deteriorate your own mental space. Here's the thing. We can be like male podcasters sat here talking shit about this girl. Oh, Western women and feminism. We can talk about all this shit, but it doesn't fucking matter, because what matters is what you have control over. You have control over your own mind. The lesson that I want to teach you in this video is, if you are upset over a situation like this, that indicates a poor mindset from you. It indicates that you're sat there anxious, like letting someone else dictate your own thoughts and your own
You're letting them or her dictate your own thoughts, so you're emotionally weak. You're not stoic. You have no way of steering your own emotions, because basically you can choose to be angry, frustrated, sad, anxious, blah blah blah, or you can choose to be happy. So what he's saying is super important here, because happy and peaceful joy, that's like your default state, and you let other people, their opinions, or maybe the girl not texting you back, you let those things affect you.
When you could literally, since you don't know, right, if the girl texts you back, oh, sorry, I was just with Tyrone and his penis is inside of me right now. That was fucking of course. But that's probably not what's happened. It's just speculation. It's just worrying. But it's without proof. It's without logic. It's without fact. When you don't have proof, logic, or facts, and all of it is speculation, you may as well speculate something that actually helps you. So when you see that a girl hasn't replied back, this is what I want you to do, right? Shrug your shoulders and be like, oh yeah, she probably has like diarrhea right now. Fair enough. I probably wouldn't really feel like replying. No, is that true? It might not be. But at least that doesn't fuck up your mindset, right? It kind of makes you feel kind of strong of like, oh yeah, like girls poop what's up, like they're actually human beings. At least that serves you. At least that doesn't make you sit there and think, oh, she's not replied. Is it because I haven't been mewing for about? How does that help? Not mewing helps, of course, but it doesn't help you to be sat there shit talking yourself when you don't even know what the real situation is. I could tell you so many times that
it's a low self-worth thing. Like, you don't see yourself as that guy, which is why your actions aren't reflecting that, which is why you're not going to the gym, all these different reasons. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that you have to be like this like drill sergeant gym guy. What I am saying is it will help you to get in the gym more, at least 3 to 4 times a week. Start doing some basic weightlifting, things like that. Reading instead of TikTok, Instagram, Netflix, blah, 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 your brain oozing outside of your ear. Or even like he was talking about, like there's a lot of, let's just say like male podcast things where it's like really bitter. It's like the red pill bitter side rather than the red pill let's get better side. Let's be who we actually are, who we're meant to be, this abundant guy. Because you can stay bitter or you can get better. That's the quick way of putting that.
In high school and college, 16, 18 years old, and this was like the topic of my thought in my mind. Oh, this girl hasn't replied back, and this girl texted me something. What should I say back to her? What I'm going to tell you right now is brutal. Most women that you encounter in your life, they ain't all that. It's just the truth. The majority of women that you meet are not wife quality. They're not the kind of woman that is worth you being sat around questioning things for and thinking, what can I change about myself? It's just random girls out there. They're not even on self-improvement. They don't even meditate. They drink alcohol. They fucking smoke vapes and stuff. But like I said, they don't fucking lie to me. Don't lie. The reason why you're hooked on this girl is not because she's some magical princess and she's like wife quality. It's because you got no one else, right? Don't lie. Like, ask yourself this weird question. You told me in a bullet point list all of the bad habits that you know. You know one guy that's fucked her already, don't you? You can tell whether you think...
And check this out, by the way. You are in a scarcity mindset rather than an abundance mindset, which means, and let me translate this for you too, it doesn't mean that you have to be a playboy. It means you have to know what you're capable of. You are this confident, abundant guy, and you don't necessarily need to be like dating a bunch of girls, doing a bunch of casual stuff. That's not what this is about. It's about knowing your self-worth. Because that's why you're so like, oh, she's not texting me back. Ugh.
So what? It's like you pretty much kind of know which guy she's been with already. You've like seen the likes on Instagram or some shit, right? You know that she parties or she does this weird bad habit, right? If you asked what would this guy rate her out of 10, it probably wouldn't be that high. The reason why a lot of young guys will say about their crush, she's an 11 out of 10 is because she's the only girl who's actually replied to you this month, and so she feels special. Yep. But you've just got scarcity mindset. Here is the truth. The woman who is right for you, you will not have these kinds of thoughts with her, like, oh, why is she not replying, and oh, this and this. You will not have these thoughts. The woman who's right for you, who's compatible with you, will make you feel loved. You will literally feel awesome through the day. Like when you have a woman who's right for you as a man, you'll feel this masculine, like zestful energy. It's a weird way to explain it, but it's like, how you feel when you have an erection. Sometimes like the erection, it feels kind of like a dirty one where you need to like jack off. But other times it kind of feels like a strong one. Like you almost like, you don't even need to touch it. Sometimes it just feels nice to have a boner, right? When you have a girl in your life who loves you in the right way, you have that kind of feeling, but like 24/7. Like you just feel energetic. Like you feel like a big boner. But it's like you literally just feel like you're energetic. Like, yeah, life's awesome. Like, let's go penetrate this way. Let's go this way. Let's go do this thing. Let's go do this thing. You're laughing. You're joking with people. That's what it feels like when you've got the right girl in front of you. When you're
using that creative energy in your life, rather than being caught up in these little things. And that's actually, he mentioned something good there. Basically, a lot of guys get this messed up too. It's not about you being jacked enough or rich enough or confident, charismatic enough. You have that already. And you don't realize it because of that level of so low self-worth that is being masked. It feels like it's hidden from you, so you have this scarcity mindset. So that's really important for you to remember, because a lot of guys say like, oh, once I have these things, the body, the money, etc., then they'll like me. And those guys still mess up because they have a scarcity mindset too. And you don't really want her to be attracted to you just because of specifically just your looks or specifically just your money. You want it to be other things as well. Like you actually align. You're both high frequency people and you align in a lot of different ways. And it's not just that, because looks fade, money isn't all that. It's a very powerful tool that will amplify your behaviors. So you can use it as a magnet, use it wisely or intentionally to create more. So your life is easy. And I don't mean like you don't do any work. I mean that it's easier feeling, you feel more relaxed. It's easy for you to take care of your girl, your family, your friends, maybe invest in a business, startup, etc., right? So you can actually do what you want rather than being restricted and feeling stuck or scarce. And that's the key part here. So basically at that point, you'll realize that it's possible. It's possible to achieve these things. And it's not all about achieving the body and the finances to get the girl.
girl in front of you. When you're anxious, when you're overthinking, when you have done this shit where you swipe to the side and you see that you sent your message at 7:47 and she sent her message at 6:55 or some bullshit like that, that's a mental disorder. That proves this person is not right for you, because if she was right for you, this shit wouldn't happen. You didn't ever wish for a relationship where you're checking like what time you sent your message and how long it's taken her to reply. You never wished for that. So then if she's not right for you, why would you waste your mental space on this? The reason why, honestly, this is the promise I'll make to you. I'll never lie or sugarcoat things. You click on my videos when you want some tough masculine love. You want to hear the truth? The reason why you are in this situation is because you are a low status man. It's as simple as that. It's none of this cute shit of like personality. No. You are a low level man because you have not been on self-improvement and not been like advancing through things like your fitness and money and business and status and confidence like some other guys have. The higher status you are, the less this bullshit happens, and also the less it affects you. High status guys attract...
Yeah, I mean, it's true, right? So it's a mixture of both. It's the knowing that you are abundant and way more than enough already, and then also following through on the actions that your ultimate or best self does, which, by the way, means incorporating your fitness and eating better, not drinking, etc., etc. Like, you can find a balance in everything. I'm not, saying that you can't do a little bit of each of these things, but you have to find the balance. And basically, it's reflecting that you are high status because you treat yourself as such, right? Like, what do you put into your body? Do you actually go to the gym? Do you actually consume things that aren't Netflix and TikTok, etc., right? Do you actually learn healthy things, go on adventures rather than staying inside and playing video games all the time? Like these are the key things. And again, you can do some of these things with balance, a little bit of moderation. These aren't really the needle moving tasks though. Those, like some of those low level things, you can enjoy yourself. I'm not saying that you can't do that. It's just that these are all components of being that high status guy and being able to show yourself, trust yourself that you are. Because then they can see that these are all, the money is so important, the looks are so important, the personality is so important. They're cogs in the machine that create that attraction, that initial alignment between you and the girl. Because those have to be in place for it to work. I mean, you can be upset about it all you want, but guys will cry like, oh, she left me because I didn't have any more money. Well, that's one of the leading causes of divorce. So that should be gotten through a lot of guys' thick skulls already, right? Like, I have empathy for guys that are going through tough situations here, of course, but you can't deny that. And so I was talking to a guy recently that was saying like, oh, the girl, she always goes to the highest bidder. Like, it's all about money. It's not all about money. You have to have these other things too. And if it is all about money, you're with the wrong girl. I'll just say it plain and simple for you. So you have to have all these things so that you can be aligned with her. You will attract the right person because of that. Like, it goes both ways. It's not just like a hypergamy with women thing. Like, guys will be like, oh, they always wait for the man at the finish line. They always go for the highest status man, blah, blah, blah. And they kind of cry about it. Guys go for their best option too. So it's not like we shouldn't be shaming someone or judging somebody for it. That's literally just natural. I know you know what I mean.
Guys still have girls who don't reply to them, but it's like it doesn't even register in the brains of these kinds of men. It's like you don't even think about it if a girl doesn't message you, because you've got like 25, 50 girls that you're currently in like some kind of messaging with already. The reason why this is fucking up your mental state is because you're a low level man right now. It's that simple. I could lie to you, oh, you're so beautiful and participation trophy. I'll never fucking sugarcoat shit when you click on my videos. You knew that, right? You always get a brutal slap of reality when you click on these videos, because no one else in the world is going to do this for you. Your father's probably got low testosterone. You had only female obese teachers through school. Your professor's part of the L community. The news isn't going to tell you this shit. Most influencers are pussies. Your mother's a feminist. All these girls you meet are harlots. No one's going to look at you in the eyes and tell you the brutal truth of life as a man. The higher level you are, the less this shit affects you. It's as simple as that. It's honestly as simple. And this does not mean, oh bro, you got to lock in and make money. Because there's lots of dweebs out here with money who are still in the exact same thing. If you think money's going to save you from this, it's not. It's the mixture of being like the top 1% man like Adonis, where yeah, sure, money and financial freedom is a part of that. But you also need like your spiritual development where you start to like realize your soul inside of you and you start to live authentically to that. You also need your fitness, your health, your discipline, your mindset, mental health. You need to heal the traumas that have plagued your life and change your decisions and your personality all this time. That's what makes the top 1% man. That's what makes the man like Adonis. And when you get to that level, this stuff that stops affecting you. So right now you're a low status young man who's going through this shit and you're overthinking about it and you're wasting your potential when you could be switched on and focused on your growth. Not just money, but money with fitness, with mental health, spiritual health, physical health. When you level up all these areas, you will literally become like a new breed of human compared to your previous self. And when you are that new version of yourself, you will be so pleasantly surprised of how, like, I don't mean to make this sound like dirty, but like how easy women get. You'd be so surprised of how upfront women will be about wanting to fuck you when you get to a certain level. You'd be so surprised of how many women at once will be expressing interest and messaging you first on Instagram because you didn't spend time like all the Jeffreys out there worrying about stuff like this.
Yeah, man. I mean, I agree with everything that he says. And last thing to touch on there, because we've already talked about you already being way more than enough and abundant. So that's something to start recognizing if you haven't already recognized that. Basically, you've forgotten that. And so things like he mentioned healing. You don't need to heal. You need to become aware of those triggers or those past traumas or your limiting beliefs so that you can pull them out by their roots and also realize that they're literally just beliefs, which means that you can change them, which means that you can believe something else, like it's easy to make money. It's easy to attract high quality, feminine women who are supportive. It's easy to make great friends. It's easy to have good relationships with everyone in my life, my family, etc., etc. It's easy to have a great body. It's all effortless, and it takes intentional action. Not necessarily like this, like, go, 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 drill sergeant dude. Intentional action with knowing who you are, that you are abundant already. All right, guys, go check out Hamza. He's got great videos. Like, comment, subscribe here. I'll see you in the next one. You got this, bro.